and now Cecil County in the world. You should know that Doug Donnelly and I and Cecil TV host the open mic at Wesley's on Route 273 in Fair Hill every second and fourth Tuesday of the month. And one of the regulars up there on the drums is our good friend, Dr. Desmond Kahn, PhD in biology, worked for the state of Maryland and the state of Delaware in fish biology. Des, welcome to Cecil
Rob,
TV 36.
great to see you again.
It's great to see you. And I'm glad you didn't say, I'd rather be fishing. Great to have you on the show. Tell us about the American eel. I'm going to try to pronounce this. Say it.
Anguilla rostrata. Well, the reason I became interested in eels and started doing some research was a report that came out in 2014 that made the surprising claim that American eels are endangered with extinction.
Wow.
I was at a fishery meeting in Delaware in 2015, and one of the watermen said, if you tell us eels are going extinct, we say you're crazy because we've got them falling out of our crab pots. So I said, eels going extinct? What? And I looked into it, and indeed, an organization called the International Union for the Conservation of Nature had claimed that American eels are in danger of extinction. So I started conducting research, and what I found was that while they had declined to a low point about 95 through 2003, since then, the research I conducted showed they had rebounded. And so by, say, 2014, they were back up about up 50% to where they had been in 81, which is the peak year in the period I studied.
Well, you know, as a kid, I used to catch eels, and we'd always throw them back. You know, get rid of it. Mm-hmm. But aren't they good eating?
They're considered to be a delicacy in several parts of the world. Wow. Asia, they're in sushi many times. And in Europe, they're a delicacy. In fact, they like to smoke them over there.
How do they keep them lit?
That was my line, buddy.
I stole it. Anyway, that's great. So you did some research and decided that everything that you found out, eels are okay.
Yeah, and I published that in a paper that came out this year.
Wow. So we see them in Cecil County, right?
Oh, they're quite numerous. When I was a kid, we used to fish these little tiny brooks, you know, fishing for sunnies and so forth. And once in a while, we'd hook an eel. And then we had a battle on our hands. And these little streams, maybe this wide, you get an eel out of there like this long sometimes, you know.
I'm not going to say holy mackerel, but wow.
Great restraint, Rob.
I had to say
Then when I was working for Delaware Fish and Wildlife, we used to electrofish one of the streams that we stock with trout, the White Clay Creek. And we would go up there and turn on, hit the current, and these eels would come boiling out from under these like tree roots and rocks. I mean, eels this big, very numerous.
You're going to have to explain, Dr. Kahn, to me and to our viewers, electrofish?
Yeah, well that's, you use a electric current that you turn on in the water, and it shocks the fish and brings them, they tend to come up so you can catch them, but it's basically does not hurt them, so you can take measurements and so forth and then release them.
About that. People do it with worms, bring them out of the ground.
I don't know about worms, Rob. I'm a fish guy.
I'm always wondering about the worms, you know what I mean? But fish eat worms.
That's true.
So, Cecil County has eels, but they can't go above the dam, right?
Conowingo Dam stops all eels from the Susquehanna River's tremendous length. It's the largest river on the East Coast of North America. It's basically bereft of eels. And that is unfortunate. For example, there's certain kinds of freshwater mussels, at least one species or more, that depends on eels to transport its larvae up and down the stream. Where in contrast, the Delaware River is undammed. It's got eels throughout its length, very abundant.
Wow, and eels they don't stay in one place. Don't they come from far away?
Very far away, yes. the Sargasso Sea. Every eel we have, every American eel, is born in the Sargasso Sea, which is down in the area of Bermuda. And they ride the Gulf Stream, the larvae ride the Gulf Stream up to our area, and they bail out and head for shore.
But that means the parent eels have to swim down the Sargasso Sea
Right.
to lay the eggs, right?
Right. They have to return to the Sargasso Sea to
So
spawn.
they're migratory.
And yes, and they die once they spawn. That's it. They go out with a bang, though.
You know, what a way to go. So they come from the Sargasso, and then they just come up and start. How big are they when they come up here?
Well, when they arrive, say at the mouth of streams, they're about a couple inches long. They're clear. They're known as glass eels. And then they gradually add pigment and they move up the streams. Now, a large portion of them remain in estuaries for their life. But the ones that come up the streams tend to be females, and they can get to be quite large.
How long would it take for a little glass eel to get yay big?
Well, sometimes they've been known to live up to 30 years in streams.
Wow.
But that's not the average, but that's some of the longer-lived ones.
And you say they're good eating.
Yeah.
If one of our viewers catches an eel, rather than throwing it back, they want to cook it up, how would they do it?
I would pan fry, clean them and pan fry them, you know.
And that's how you eat an eel.
Mm-hmm.
Do other fish eat eels?
Yeah, bigger fish. I mean, they're used as bait for rockfish or striped bass and other fish like, I believe, cobia.
We know about rockfish. We like rockfish. Mm-hmm. Have you ever studied rockfish?
Yes, quite a bit. Mm-hmm.
I can see into the future where you could come on the show and bring us some rockfish, and we could even check it out.
Well, I can bring you pictures.
Can you can't catch one?
Yeah, I can. I've been known to.
Avid fisherman, doctor, biologist, drummer, Desmond Kahn, thank you so much for being on.
Hey, it was great. Thanks, Rob.